this video, we're going to be answering people's questions and adding even more value to the community. So I'm looking forward to hear your comments, and why not press like if you get value from the video. Yanni's asked a really interesting question. I know, I assume all of you guys can hear her. If you can't hear Yanni, please just write in the comments, I can't hear her. But basically, Yanni's question was really simple. She basically said she has a 6-bedroom HMO, which I believe she said she joint ventured on in order to acquire. She said in this HMO, she's had one particular person who was rushed out by ambulance 2 days ago. And after this person being rushed out by ambulance, 2 other tenants in the house then decided to leave the house. After those 2 tenants have decided to leave the house, Yanni then said one of the tenants is still in the house, residing in the house. And then the tenant who was rushed off to hospital was then told, he was discharged from hospital, told that he can go back home. He went back to the HMO, and since going back to the HMO, he has then left the HMO as well. So is that a good summary of what's going on, Yanni?
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, brilliant. So this is what I'm going to say to you in terms of how you move forward. The first thing that you need to be operating with, and this relates to a video that I did the other day. I released this video about two or 3 days ago. And in the video, one of the things, the video is called the coronavirus versus property, or property versus the coronavirus. The one of the key things I said in that video is people need to be more transparent. Okay. People need to be more transparent. Okay, so what I mean by this in your particular scenario, Yanni, is you are in control of that property. And just like I said to Remy, you need to become the go-to person right now. For the landlord, you want that landlord to know, I can count on Yanni to give me all the relevant information whilst we're going through this stuff as it pertains to property. Now, obviously, if you've got, a level of intellect, you will know exactly why that's going to be beneficial for you when all of this blows over. When all of this blows over, if you're the person who was steering the ship, this makes it much easier when this is over for that landlord to now give you more property or recommend you to other landlords. Okay, so it's interesting. I never thought this was going to become very, very much about rent to rent, but I'm glad that it has become about rent to rent, because I know Remy's scenario is about rent to rent and yours is also, Yanni. But what I'm going to say to you is this: with this particular property, one of the key things for you to do, going back to the point I made about transparency, is you want to share very transparently, on all levels right now. So in terms of strategy, in terms of things to go forward, what I would do if I was in your predicament, the first thing I would do is I'd reach out to every single tenant. Okay, I'd be sending a message to every single tenant, and I'd be saying to each of those tenants, dear tenant, okay, as the managing agent of the property, I am now very interested in supporting everybody through means of this scenario. And there's several different ways I'm going to support you through this scenario. But the first piece of information I need is, are you self-isolating? Do you need to self-isolate, etc., etc.? So what I'm basically saying to you, Yanni, is you need to set up right now a system where these people who are involved in this scenario in your property are coming to you first. Okay, they're not making decisions straight away like, okay, look, I need to run, or okay, I need to get out of here, or okay, if the ambulance have taken him, then that means he definitely had COVID-19. No, what you want to do is you want to calm the storm. Okay, you want to make sure that all the tenants understand that you're the first point of call. Okay, so what's basically taking place right now, and for the specific individual who's left, you want to find out from that person what's going on with them. Okay, what is basically going on with them? Like, have they been diagnosed to have COVID-19? Have they not been diagnosed to have COVID-19? You want to basically engage with the tenants who've run away. Why have you run away? For what reason have you moved out of the property? Is it because you've assumed that the gentleman has COVID-19? Or is it because you just don't want to be in a house with anyone who's got any underlying health conditions right now, which is what some people are basically behaving like or acting like, okay? So the key to what I'm saying to you right now is, for you, Yanni, you just want to put yourself in a position where you're understanding what's going on in the house from each and every occupant individually. And then when you do that, you become the person with all of the information. And when you have the most information, you can make the most informed decisions. What you need to do is take a step further. Okay, so in terms of engagement, the way you do that is, how was you contacting them first initially? Text, WhatsApp?
So initially we sent text message and we sent WhatsApp, and they replied.
Okay.
And then we called them. It was 1 week ago.
Okay. So the next step from that will be a video call. Okay, so just send them a message via WhatsApp. If they replied via WhatsApp first initially, engage again. I would engage again via WhatsApp, and I just basically say, hi, tenant X. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up video calls just to check in on each of the tenants in the house and to see their current well-being. Okay, and then basically on the video call, any specific requirements or questions you have for them, basically ask them. So look, have you been diagnosed? Have you taken a test? Do you believe you have it? Have you got underlying health conditions? Basically, we're just gathering this information so we can help everybody in the property. That's the kind of approach I would advise you to take. What you have to understand is when things like this happen, it's the people with the most information that can make the most successful actions. Okay, so you want to have the most information, and if you're trying a certain way, i.e. we're sending text messages, we're writing letters, and we're not getting responses, then you move to the next level of communication. You say, okay, I'm gonna call them like you've done, and then after you call them, okay, now we're gonna have a video call. Like we're gonna escalate it as much as we can. Obviously you can't, you're expected to not go to the property, but you can have a video call and you can say to them, okay, look, we wanted to have an engagement with you guys, and again, you can choose. I would not advise you to do it with all 6 tenants straight away. I'd say take them one at a time, and then after having all of them one at a time, if you find out information that some of the tenants have assumed is not actually happening, i.e. if you find out that the gentleman who was taken to hospital doesn't have COVID-19, but the other 2 tenants do believe he has COVID-19, that's why they've run away, then after having all of that information found out, you can then have a 5 or 6 way Zoom meeting or Skype meeting and then share with them, like, look, this is the current situation. This person was feeling ill. Because they were ill, they were taken to hospital, but they had been diagnosed and it's not with COVID-19. As a direct result, the house is good. Another thing I'd advise you to do is, in a number of the WhatsApp groups I'm in, there's a lot of talk about having professional cleaners going into properties and doing cleans. So if, for example, it turns out that this gentleman does or has been diagnosed with COVID-19, then look at how you can get cleaners into that property to basically do a deep clean in order for that house to be appropriate for other people to live in. And I'm sharing that because you've mentioned that you've got another person who's still staying in the house. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm really interested in finding out how you've actually found the value that we've shared on this particular video. So what I'd like to invite you to do is write a comment in the comments below and let us know what was kind of your key takeaway from this particular video. Side by side with that, why not hit subscribe and become a part of our channel and keep up to date with every single video that we drop, as well as the live streams, so that basically you can get your questions answered as well in those actual sessions. Now, last but not least, I'm going to encourage you to go and watch this video here, where we're going to basically help you move forward in your property journey, or this video right here, where we're going to be sharing with you even more insights as it pertains to property. This is Sammy I Can Win. I'm signing out. Have a great day.